Hello and welcome back to Agape Leaders Monday Motivation. This week, I'm excited to introduce a very close friend of mine. And before I introduce her, I want to tell you a quick story. In the summer of 2003, now this young lady and I went for a walk. And we sat down and we had a talk. And I think little did we know how much that walk and that talk would change both of our lives. And so for her to be here this week, I feel is just a blessing that God has been preparing since the summer of 2003. And so here we are. So I pray that you'll lean in and listen to my good friend. Her name is Anna Seiple.
Hi, my name is Anna Seiple. I am a counselor in Knoxville, Tennessee. I work with individuals and couples. I really like what I get to do. And I'm very excited to be here today for Motivation Monday. And I thought it would be appropriate for me to sit somewhere in my house where you can see the sign that says agape in Greek, since we're here with Agape Leaders. And today I'll talk just a little bit about embracing the day ahead of you, whatever it might come with. So I know, at least for me, in a lot of my life, it's been really easy for me to think about like what's on my schedule, what am I expecting, what am I planning for, whether it's today, this week, this month, this year, things like that, or even looking, at what have I gotten done or what would I wish I had done differently. And my headspace can just be in the future or the past rather than in the present moment. And I think for me in that, there has been a bigger principle that God has been teaching me than simply, be present, be mindful, be connected with this moment. I think that's a good thing. But I know for myself, something that God continues to put in front of me with that is a sense of what kind of perspective do I have about myself and my own perspective on like my life and how I see things. And what I mean by that is, do I think that in my perspective, I can or should be able to know what to expect in my day, my week, my month, my year, my life, things like that? Or am I acknowledging that my perspective is always going to be limited in some ways? It's always going to be finite in some ways, and that God's perspective is entirely different. Right? He is not hindered. He's not surprised by things that happens in our lives. And in this, for me, I feel like God's been teaching me this for several years. I imagine He's going to continue to teach me about this my entire life. And a place He generally brings me back to is a sense of considering in a really sweet and freeing way just how small and finite I am relative to just how big and infinite and mighty He is. And I think when I was younger, there were times in my life that actually would not have been comforting to me. I don't think I would have found that as a sweet thing. And what's been really neat has been to see that as God has taught me this, among many other things, He's brought me to a place of that actually being a comfort and that actually allowing me to embrace whatever is in my day, my week, my month, or my year. Now, we don't have an hour-long therapy session here for me to share all the details of my life, but I've come up against some really unexpected and painful twists and turns, things that I just never thought would happen, things I never thought would be a path that I have to walk. And in that, the Lord always showed me a sense of, it wasn't just that He wasn't fazed and that He wasn't surprised, but that it wasn't too big for Him. It wasn't too much for Him, either in that moment or in how He would weave that into a much larger narrative of not just my life, but a much larger redemptive narrative of what He's doing and has been doing in the world that He's created. So I say all that to say, whatever you have ahead of you on this Monday during this week, I encourage you in the moments when things kind of surprise you or aren't what you expect, or even not, maybe in any moment of your day or your week, I encourage you to think about the comfort that can be found in knowing that while our viewpoint, our perspective sees some things, but there's a lot of blind spots in there, God's perspective is holistic. It is complete in a way that we can't even comprehend. And I think that that frees us and allows us to embrace what is in front of us, and also to embrace communion with Him. So I hope this has encouraged you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great week.
Thank you, Anna, for that motivating word. And I loved what you did with agape. Well, that's all we have for this week's Agape Leaders Monday Motivation. Until next time, you have a blessed week.